Rumors are that allegedly Kim Zolciak has a secret plan to get back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. What's the plan? Can it work? Well, I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified, so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. Alright, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly Kim Zolciak has a secret plan to return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. What's that plan? Can it work? Well, I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more, and here it goes. Rumors are, allegedly, Kim Zolciak is aiming for a big return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. Sources say, don't believe the narrative that Sheree is campaigning for Kim to return. Lies. It's all Kim. Allegedly, Kim has been in quiet talks with producers to make a big return since last fall. However, rumors are that Kim allegedly backed away from talks because she was unsure if the platform was a good fit for her new branding. But now she has an alleged secret plan. What changed? Well, Teresa Giudice. How? Well, industry insiders are alleging that the former housewife of Atlanta wants to follow Teresa Giudice's formula and create a Kardashian-like brand with her daughters via Real Housewives of Atlanta. Can it work? If pitched, will producers like the idea and bring Kim back? Well, industry insiders say most likely producers and the network are open to talks with Kim. So, if the idea is pitched correctly, I don't see why Bravo wouldn't bring her back. Another source wasn't so sure. They said, Kim is a Real Housewives of Atlanta OG, but not a good marketable one. Sure, fans would love to see Kim interacting with her older daughters. And yes, there is a Bravo market for it, as we have seen with Karen, Kyle, and Teresa. However, things are different, and Kim's last Real Housewives of Atlanta appearance left her in racial hot waters, and fans simply haven't forgotten, ended the source. All sources agree that Kim's alleged secret plan to rebrand as a family-oriented housewife with Bravo as the platform is a good idea with perfect timing, if she had her own show again. Research has shown that allegedly there simply isn't a market or a huge fan push to have her back on the show. Can she push her way through? Yes, said the source, but this new cast of Atlanta housewives could push back even harder and leave Kim and her secret plan out in the cold. Now, kinfolk, this week when I heard this rumor about Kim aiming to return back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise, I was thinking to myself, here we go with the end of the season rumor mill about who's coming back, who's returning, who's negotiating, and who wants more money. You know, the same old circus that we get after each season ended. Now, the thing that really stuck with me with Kim, with this Kim rumor about her wanting to return back to the show, is that I was reading a blind item the other day where the blind item made mention that a Southeast housewife was planning to come back to the show and wanted to rebrand herself and her family. And it immediately made me think of Kim. And here's why. Kim has been off of television now going on 3 years. And in those 3 years, Bravo has seen a big shift in the way they are rebranding housewives in terms of their personal lives and their families. We have seen, as my source say, this play out with Teresa, Karen, and now Kyle. All those women with a family of pretty much girls seem to be more marketable, and it seems as if Bravo is following a Kardashian-like formula to create spin-offs and to create spin-offs that those families can lead and flip into their own personal branding. And as we know, that's a very lucrative lane thanks to the Kardashian and their formula. And as we see now that Teresa was the first housewife to be able to flip that formula and make it more Real Housewife franchise and Real Housewife universe acceptable and interesting. And unlike the Kardashians, the ladies who have had spinoffs with their daughters seem more real and the interactions seem more genuine. So I'm assuming that Kim being on the sidelines and seeing how this new rebranding is taking place and looking back at her daughters and even her sons and thinking, I have a big family too. I can take advantage of this opportunity, and I can take advantage of this opportunity and make it work not just for me, but make it lucrative for everyone in my family. So when I heard this rumor about her and an alleged secret plan to return, I immediately thought I could see it happening. Now, however, it is something about this plan that I think just won't work. What is it? Well, it's this. As my sources were saying, this is a great plan for Kim, if you believe the speculations. However, it's only a great plan if she has her own spinoff show. Right now, Kim going to an ensemble cast with 6 other women and allegedly or potentially being the 7th housewife is going to really cut down how much screen time her and her family have. And with that being said, with minimum amounts of screen time, it's going to be hard to create a brand or a marketable brand with all your kids, because 9 times out of 10, all of your children are not going to be showcasing every episode. And if they are showcasing every episode, it's going to be very hard for them to be able to create a brand in such short intervals. I mean, Kim's family would pretty much have to create a lot of drama each and every night in each and every episode just to get people talking, which would be kind of risky because you wouldn't want your child or your children getting into too much drama and then the fans turn on them, as we saw with one of Kim's daughters in Nene's home and the water bug slash roach incident. And it really swayed public opinion about Kim and her daughters. So that is one thing that Kim has working against her, if you are to believe this alleged new secret plan to return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. Now, not saying that it won't work, because all the other ladies created their spin-off shows and their spin-off brandings with their daughters and with their families off an ensemble cast. And also, we already know Kim, and we already kind of are acquainted with her children. So I would think that if they did bring Kim back, and if the network or producers did, let's all speculate here, like her alleged idea of rebranding her family as a family-oriented ensemble, then they could probably use a test run on the Real Housewives of Atlanta one season to see if the interest is still there, and then probably give her own spinoff show again the following year. But it's something about that a plan, if you are to believe this rumor, if implemented, it simply wouldn't work. And why wouldn't it work? Because of this. Kim left the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise in hot water with fans regarding the racial tension that she had with the other castmates. Times have just simply changed. We've seen different racial movements within these networks, within these production companies, and on these shows, and they're becoming more equitable and more racially equitable, and also more sensitive to some of the things the fans are beginning to say about how they feel black women are being portrayed and treated both on and outside the camera. Both on and behind the camera. Now, if you bring Kim back, it's very risky because you might turn off a lot of fans who see Kim, or who may see Kim, as the main problem and the issue with privilege of women of a different racial background. Now, do I think that this is something that Kim believes in? No. However, unfortunately for her, that is just the narrative that a lot of people have already painted for her. That is kind of the spotlight she will be stepping into when she came back to if she comes back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. She will always have a spotlight on her. She will always have people looking and dissecting everything she says and everything her and her family does in order to make sure everything is cool. So with that being said, it may be hard for Kim to create a family-oriented brand with her family if they have to be so careful about everything they're saying and everything that they're doing. It kind of takes the fun and the spontaneity out of reality television, and you need that in order to get the fans back liking you, back talking about you, in order to create hype so you can get your own spin-off show. Now, Kim folk, it's all speculation here. But let's just say Kim can do all those things and put all those ducks in a row. She still has this one last thing working against her. And it's this. If you have seen this last season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know that the ladies did a spectacular job of carrying the season. Allegedly, all 6 of the ladies have been offered their contracts. Not all have signed, and all of some are still allegedly working to get signed. However, my sources are telling me that the network and producers were extremely pleased with all the ladies. And so now you have rumors that Porsha is gunning for a position back on the show. Let's just say Porsha comes back on the show. Then that's the 7th housewife. And I do believe Bravo would potentially give Real Housewives of Atlanta 7 housewives because they still have some newbies who have not, I believe, cracked that high premium pay for each season. So there's probably still enough money for Porsha to go around and bring Porsha back. So where does that leave Kim? Well, that leaves Kim pretty much in a friend of a show capacity. And with that being said, that means less money because you don't want to give Kim a lot of money to be a friend of the show and get possibly or potentially paid more than the other newbies because that's not going to look right. You see where I'm going with this? So that means Kim would have to come in, do the work because she would have to do the work to get in order to get her family a lot of screen time. She would pretty much be doing most of the work. It's probably the same amount of work as the other ladies, but getting paid far less. Because I do believe if it was between Porsha and Kim to come back and get the 7th peach, then they probably would go with Porsha. Now, with that being said, Kim is notorious for not wanting to film long hours, to not want to give a lot of drama and storyline narratives to producers, and she's notorious for walking out of scenes. So you have Kim, who could be, and it's all speculation still, a friend of the show who has to do as much work as a regular housewife but not get paid as much, with the reputation of not liking to do much from the beginning. So then it comes to play about her ego. If they brought her back in this capacity of a friend of the show, it goes back to say, will she let her ego stand in the way of this alleged secret plan to rebrand herself and her family? Or will she just get down, put her head down, do the work, and just hustle back to a place of prominence on the show and with the network? Now, my money is Kim probably is not going to do a lot of work for little pay. And I do believe her ego might just stop her from returning in the capacity of a friend of the show. I think Kim's the type of person who wants to go all in as a peach holder or nothing at all. But Kim folk, I wonder what you guys think. If you are to believe this alleged secret plan that Kim wants to rebrand herself and her family as this family-oriented Teresa Giudice Kardashian-like brand, do you think it can work? Or do you think the interest there is just simply not there for Kim to return and fans are over her? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, Kim folk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.